Ladies and gentlemen, happiness is not a stroke of luck. It is not a gift handed to a chosen few. It is not the reward for a perfect life, a problem-free week, or a flawless past. Happiness is a practice, a decision, a powerful inner choice you make every single morning, long before the world takes its first shot at you. And yet, for most of us, happiness feels like something we chase, not something we create. We wait for the right moment, the right achievement, the right relationship, the right opportunity. And only then we say, I'll finally be happy. But the truth is this: if you don't learn to choose happiness in small moments, big moments will never be enough. Happiness is not a destination. It is a muscle. And like every muscle, you must push it, stretch it, and use it daily if you want it to grow. Every day, life gives us reasons to be disappointed, discouraged, frustrated, or afraid. But it also gives us reasons to smile, to breathe deeply, to feel grateful, and to grow. Happiness comes from the voice inside that whispers, try again, look for the good, rise instead of collapse, and choose peace over chaos. Pushing yourself to be happy does not mean ignoring pain. It means refusing to let pain become your identity. It means reminding yourself that no matter what life takes from you, it can never take your power to choose how you rise, how you heal, and how you show up for yourself. When you push yourself to practice happiness, not perfection, not control, not constant excitement, but authentic happiness, you become stronger. Your heart becomes more resilient. Your mind becomes clearer. You start attracting better decisions, better opportunities, and better people. Happiness is inside you, but it requires your participation, your courage, your consistency, your willingness to choose light even when darkness feels easier. So today and every day, challenge yourself to do one thing that lifts your spirit, one thing that calms your heart, one thing that reminds you that joy is possible even on the days that feel heavy. Because when you push yourself to be happy every day, you don't just change your mood, you transform your life. Happiness is not something that falls into your lap by chance, nor is it a gift reserved for those with perfect lives, perfect families, perfect opportunities, or perfect circumstances. Happiness is a daily decision, a choice you make over and over again, especially on the days when life feels heavy, confusing, or unfair. And the truth is this: the power to choose happiness has always belonged to you, even when the world convinces you otherwise. Every morning, you open your eyes to two possibilities. You can either let the day run you, or you can show up and actively run your day. You can allow your mind to drift towards stress, fear, and doubt, or you can direct it toward gratitude, hope, and intention. Happiness is the result of that direction. It is the product of small, consistent choices that build a stronger, steadier, more resilient version of yourself. Choosing happiness does not mean pretending life is easy. It does not mean forcing a smile when your heart is hurting or ignoring the struggles that challenge you. Instead, choosing happiness means giving yourself permission to rise above what is trying to pull you down. It means finding light in the middle of the storm, not waiting for the storm to end before you decide to feel alive again. Some people believe happiness comes from big achievements, the dream job, the perfect body, the successful career, the ideal relationship. But the reality is that happiness is built long before those big moments ever arrive. It is built in the quiet habits you repeat daily. It grows in the way you talk to yourself, the way you carry yourself, the boundaries you set, the kindness you show yourself, and the courage you have to keep moving forward. Pushing yourself to be happy every day is an act of strength. It requires awareness, it requires discipline, and most importantly, it requires self-respect. When you choose happiness, you are telling the world and yourself, I deserve peace, I deserve joy, I deserve to grow. That declaration is powerful. It shapes your identity, it shapes your mindset, and over time, it shapes your life. There will be days when choosing happiness feels simple, like breathing in a peaceful morning or laughing with someone you love. And there will be days when choosing happiness feels like lifting something heavier than you can carry. On those harder days, happiness is not a feeling. It becomes a practice. It becomes an intentional action rooted in your desire to live fully, not shrink under pressure. When you challenge yourself to choose happiness every day, you are not only building a stronger emotional foundation, you are training your mind to become more flexible, more hopeful, and more courageous. You begin to see problems with clarity instead of panic. You respond to challenges with purpose instead of fear. You learn to trust yourself more deeply. You begin to rise in ways you never imagined possible. Happiness is not about ignoring pain. It is about refusing to let pain define you. It is not about controlling everything around you. It is about mastering everything within you. And when you push yourself gently, consistently, lovingly, to choose happiness each day, you unlock a strength within you that transforms your entire life. Choosing happiness is choosing yourself. And choosing yourself is the beginning of becoming the stronger, better, unshakable version of you. Happiness is often misunderstood. Many people believe it arrives like a lightning strike. Suddenly, dramatically, and without warning. They wait for the big moment, the perfect achievement, the perfect relationship, the perfect day. They imagine that happiness is something they stumble upon when life finally goes their way. But the truth is far more empowering. Happiness is not an accident, not a reward, and not a final destination. Happiness is a daily practice, carefully shaped by the choices you make, the thoughts you repeat, and the effort you give to your own well-being. When we talk about pushing yourself to be happy every day, it does not mean forcing a fake smile or pretending everything is perfect. It means committing to the small actions that strengthen your inner world so that when life challenges you, and it will, you have something stronger inside yourself to lean on. Happiness becomes a muscle. It becomes something you build with intention, discipline, and consistency. Daily happiness starts with awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to notice. If you wake up every morning and the first thoughts that fill your mind are heavy, fearful, or negative, that mental environment becomes the foundation for the rest of your day. Practicing happiness means catching thoughts early and shifting them before they shape your mood, your energy, and your behavior. It means asking yourself, what can I appreciate right now? What can I learn today? What can I do to move myself one step forward? These questions guide your mind toward hope instead of despair, toward progress instead of stagnation. Another part of daily happiness is learning to choose your focus. The world will always offer you reasons to worry, complain, or doubt. But it will also offer you reasons to be grateful, proud, inspired, and curious. What you focus on grows. If you constantly replay what is missing, what has gone wrong, or what you fear, then your spirit slowly weakens. But if you choose to focus on what is working, what is improving, and what is possible, you strengthen your emotional resilience. This is the practice of happiness, choosing thoughts that feed your strength rather than your fear. Pushing yourself to be happy also means setting boundaries. Happiness cannot grow in an environment of chaos, negativity, or constant comparison. Protecting your peace is a daily responsibility. It might mean limiting time with people who drain your spirit, taking breaks from social media, or saying no to things that exhaust rather than energize you. Boundaries are not walls, they are the conditions in which your best self can thrive. Daily happiness also requires movement. Physical, mental, and emotional. Your body influences your mind more than you realize. A short walk, stretching, breathing deeply, or spending a few minutes in sunlight can shift your entire mood. Creativity, reading, journaling, or learning something new keeps your mind alive. Checking in with your emotions, understanding what you feel, and giving yourself permission to process those feelings keeps your heart healthy. These small acts add up. They build a foundation of inner stability, and with stability comes happiness. And finally, practicing happiness means giving yourself grace. You won't feel happy every day, and that is okay. The goal is not perfection. It is consistency. What matters is the commitment to return to yourself again and again, especially on the hard days. When you push yourself to be happy daily, you become stronger. You become grounded. You become the creator of your own emotional world, not a victim of circumstance, not a prisoner of fear, and not someone waiting for life to magically transform. Happiness is built, not found, and every day is a new chance to build it again. Happiness is not a prize we stumble upon. It is not a lucky accident or a gift handed out to only a chosen few. Happiness is a daily choice, a conscious decision you make with the same level of intention you bring to your work, your goals, your relationships, and your growth. It is something you build, nurture, and protect especially on the days when life feels heavy, and that is exactly why pushing yourself to be happy is not pressure, it is power. When we talk about choosing joy, many people think it means pretending everything is perfect. It doesn't. Choosing joy does not require ignoring your feelings, suppressing your struggles, or walking around with a mask of positivity. In fact, authentic happiness only grows when you honor your emotions, let yourself feel what you need to feel, and then decide, despite everything, that you will look for the light anyway. Joy is not the denial of pain. Joy is the determination to rise above it. To choose joy with intention, you must begin small. Happiness grows in moments, not in miracles. It begins when you decide to appreciate the little things. The warmth of sunlight, a small achievement that only you noticed, a conversation that lifted your spirit, the comfort of a routine that gives you stability, or simply the fact that you are here, still learning, still living, still becoming. These are not small moments, they are the building blocks of emotional strength. If you wait for big victories to feel happy, you may wait forever. But when you train your mind to recognize everyday goodness, your entire life begins to shift. You become more grounded, more hopeful, more alive, and slowly, joy becomes your default state instead of an occasional guest. Another essential part of choosing joy is learning to silence the noise that steals it. The world is full of loud opinions, constant comparisons, and endless pressures telling you who to be, how to act, what to achieve, and how fast to do it. If you measure your happiness by the expectations of others, you will never feel whole. Happiness cannot grow where comparison exists. Joy requires presence. Being where your feet are with gratitude for who you already are. When you push yourself to be happy, you also push yourself to show up differently. You become more patient with yourself, and that patience becomes confidence. You start taking care of your mental and emotional health because you realize that your well-being is the foundation for every dream you carry. You start saying no to what drains you and yes to what nurtures you. And slowly you begin to understand that happiness is not selfish, it is necessary. Choosing joy every day also means forgiving yourself, letting go of yesterday's mistakes, releasing regrets that weigh you down. Every time you forgive yourself for being human, you free up emotional space for something better, growth, clarity, hope, and peace. Happiness cannot coexist with self-punishment. You must allow yourself to evolve without shame. Most importantly, choosing joy daily is an act of resilience. It is saying, life may not be perfect, but I am still moving forward. I am still making room for peace. I am still choosing to believe in better days. Happiness becomes your strength, not your weakness. It becomes the energy that carries you into your purpose, the mindset that helps you overcome challenges, and the power that keeps you becoming the strongest version of yourself. The truth is simpler. Happiness is not luck. Happiness is daily work. Happiness is your choice. And every day you choose it, even imperfectly, you build a stronger, healthier, more empowered version of yourself. Let joy be the discipline that shapes your life. Let happiness be the habit that transforms you. Let intention be the force that keeps you rising. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is necessary. It is powerful. And it is one of the most important habits you can build if you want to push yourself toward happiness every single day. Too many people wake up and immediately surrender their emotional energy to circumstances, to other people's moods, and to pressures they did not choose. Happiness becomes harder not because life is impossible, but because boundaries are missing. Boundaries are not walls, they are doors you open and close with intention. Every day, you interact with countless influences. Some uplifting, some draining, and some quietly destructive. If you do not become the guardian of your mental and emotional space, you allow everyone and everything to decide how you feel. When you set boundaries, you are not shutting people out. You are deciding what enters your heart and what does not. This is one of the greatest acts of self-love. Boundaries begin with awareness, the simple but powerful question: what drains me and what nourishes me? Too many people spend years wondering why they feel exhausted or unmotivated without realizing that certain habits, environments, or relationships quietly chip away at their joy. Protecting your peace means becoming honest with yourself about what you can handle, what you should avoid, and where you need to step back. One of the strongest boundaries you can set is how you start your day. If you open your morning with chaos, scrolling, comparing, rushing, you allow the world to set your emotional tone. But when you begin with calmness, gratitude, silence, or prayer, you claim your own energy before anyone else has access to it. Happiness grows when you protect the first moments of your day. Another essential boundary is protecting your time. Not everyone deserves access to every hour of your life. Some people take without giving. Some conversations drain without meaning. Some commitments pretend to be urgent but steal your focus from what genuinely matters. Saying no is not rudeness, it is wisdom. When you say no to what harms your peace, you say yes to what strengthens your spirit. Boundaries also apply to self-talk. You must learn to protect your peace from yourself. The mind can be harsh, demanding, and unforgiving. But when you set boundaries with your thoughts, refusing to entertain the ones that belittle you, choosing compassion over criticism, you reclaim inner stability. Happiness grows naturally when your inner voice becomes your friend instead of your enemy. Another powerful boundary is your emotional availability. You do not have to absorb every problem around you. You do not have to fix everyone. You do not have to carry burdens that are not yours. Being supportive does not require sacrificing your own well-being. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and you cannot stay strong if you allow yourself to be emotionally overwhelmed every day. Protecting your peace also means stepping away from environments that are filled with chaos, negativity, or disrespect. Even if you cannot escape them permanently, you can reduce your exposure. You can create distance. You can choose silence instead of reacting. You can choose to walk away instead of engaging. Your peace is worth more than winning arguments or proving points. Lastly, boundaries are powerful because they are a daily practice. You don't set them once. You live them. You reinforce them. You strengthen them. And with time, the world learns how to treat you based on what you allow. When you protect your peace, you protect your happiness. You protect your clarity. You protect your future. And day by day, you become stronger, steadier, and more beautifully unshakable. Choosing happiness is not about waiting for huge victories, perfect days, or dramatic life changes. It is about learning to recognize and celebrate the small wins, the tiny steps, little efforts, quiet progress, and everyday moments of courage that often go unnoticed. Small wins may seem insignificant in the moment, but they are the foundation of lasting transformation. They are the spark that turns consistency into mastery and effort into achievement. When you push yourself to notice these small wins every day, you train your mind to see progress instead of problems, possibilities instead of limitations, and hope instead of pressure. Small wins matter because they build momentum. Think about any meaningful change in your life: becoming disciplined, learning a skill, healing from disappointment, building confidence, improving relationships, or developing a healthier mindset. None of it happened overnight. It happened through tiny shifts, 5 minutes of effort, a single positive decision, one moment of courage, or one choice to try again instead of giving up. When you celebrate these micro moments, you reinforce the belief that progress is happening, even if slowly. And believing in your progress is often what keeps you going on the days when motivation feels far away. Celebrating small wins also helps you create a more positive inner world. Many people are harsh on themselves. They focus only on what they haven't done, what they lack, or what they're struggling with. They overlook the things they did do. Getting out of bed on a hard morning, completing a task they didn't feel like doing, choosing patience instead of anger, taking care of their responsibilities, or speaking kindly to themselves for the first time in a long time. When you acknowledge these moments, you start to rewrite your inner dialogue. You begin to treat yourself with the same encouragement you would give someone you love. And that self-encouragement becomes a powerful source of emotional strength. Another reason small wins are essential is that they help you stay focused on the present instead of getting lost in the pressure of the future. Happiness grows when you learn to appreciate the journey instead of obsessing over the destination. You don't need to have everything figured out to feel proud of yourself. You don't need to reach every goal today to respect the effort you are making. By celebrating progress, you remind yourself that life is not a race, it's a process. And every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you are growing. Small wins also strengthen discipline. Every time you honor a promise to yourself, like drinking more water, studying for a few minutes, practicing a skill, or choosing gratitude, you teach your mind that you are capable of consistency. Consistency creates confidence, and confidence creates happiness. It's a cycle that can only begin if you notice and appreciate the little moments of follow through. One of the most beautiful effects of celebrating small wins is that it makes you more resilient. When life gets hard, small wins remind you that you can handle challenges. When doubt tries to pull you back, small wins remind you of your strength. When fear whispers that you're not enough, small wins prove that you are becoming better every day. This mindset protects your happiness, because it shows you that no matter what life brings, you still have the power to move forward.